Hi, I am a epileptic getting ready to undergo laser ablation surgery. I have mesial temporal sclerosis, left temporal lobe epilepsy. It's medication resistant. I've been on about 4 different medications now, and I just wanted to make this video before the procedure for a couple of reasons. One, to share with my fellow epileptics who are nervous and want to see kind of before and after effects. So I wanted to do a video, kind of get my personality out there and kind of track changes a little bit for those who are worried about it. Also wanted to do that for myself and just kind of, hopefully give people some insight to this laser ablation procedure. I'm also going to be part of a study right now, and hoping everything goes well. So first I'm going to kind of give a little bit of background of my epilepsy, and then, kind of talk about how I've, decided to go through this procedure. So I was diagnosed with left temporal lobe epilepsy when I was 9 years old. I had my first seizure, and I was actually in church when it happened, but it lasted almost 2 hours long, so they couldn't get me to stop seizing. Eventually they flew me out, or they didn't fly me, but couldn't get me to stop seizing, so they took me to Children's Hospital in Chicago at the time, and were able to get me to stop seizing there. But it was kind of, they had given me max doses of medication, and it was at a point of no return. They couldn't give me any more. Luckily I came out of it. I was initially put on Dilantin. A couple months later, like 2 or 3 months later, I had my second seizure. Similar, it's close to an hour long. And after that we added Trileptal. It's medicated on Trileptal till I was about 14, and we thought my epilepsy had ended basically. I'd always kind of pushed to get off medication, more or less. And I wanted to play sports. I was big into football before my epilepsy started, and I started playing again, I think, when I was 12. My neuro gave me the okay. Now at the time, a lot less was known about football and the brain, even though, it might seem obvious now. Things like CT and all that, there's much more out about it. So knowing all that I know, I played football up until my freshman year of college. Knowing what I know, as much fun as it was, and as much I loved high school football and stuff like that, if I could go back, I'd probably change that, even though all the lessons and fun I had doing it. Anyways, so from the time I was 14, I was medication free until I was 24 when I got married. So on my honeymoon, we were actually in the Dominican Republic. This was during Hurricane Maria, and that was the hurricane that totally devastated Puerto Rico. And so basically what had happened is we were unable to cancel our flight on after our wedding, even though we knew the hurricane was coming. The airline wouldn't refund us, so we ended up going, and as soon as we got there, they started refunding those flights. Long story short, we had to spend the day there. Had one beautiful day there. We really did enjoy ourselves for that day. Next day, we got a flight out of there, and as we were waiting in the terminal to board the plane, storms coming. It's looking kind of scary. Before we were leaving the resort, they're like, "Why are you leaving?" But for us, we had never been through something like that before, so it was a little bit scary for us. Anyways, we tried to get the plane out of there, and the flight got canceled as we were waiting to board. So go back to the resort, and again, hadn't eaten all day. It was kind of a crazy day, just because we were trying to get out of there, make sure we got everything, and make sure we got timing, everything like that. So I hadn't eaten all day. Day before, we had drank pretty heavily. I had my wedding as well, so I hadn't slept all week. Night before my wedding, after that, yada yada. Night before, we were trying to again reschedule the flights. I know I'm going all over the place here. Basically, I had not slept and had drank quite a bit the week I had my bachelor party, wedding, honeymoon. So as we are getting back to the resort, we haven't eaten all day, so we go to eat. and we were sitting at dinner talking to mother and daughter we had actually met the previous day, and telling them kind of about our adventure, similar to what I kind of just said, and I couldn't really finish my sentence. So I just looked at my wife to finish the story, and that's the last thing I remember. So I started having a generalized seizure at the time. My wife's a nurse, so she was able to recognize what was going on. She knew I had some history of epilepsy, but not the extent. She didn't know the extent, really. And I had been having my deja vu focal seizures as long as I can remember, just not knowing it was related to my epilepsy. And so I had that seizure generalized. Like I said, loss of speech, kind of got that deja vu, and that was the last thing I remember. My wife said I turned my head to the side and started convulsions. We're in a Spanish-speaking country. Eventually, I was able to come out of it after about 15 minutes or so. They did have some foreign doctors on site, so I think they were able to give me some stuff to come out of it. After that, get back home to the States, was on Keppra for a long time, did not do well on that. Pretty much all the horrible side effects you read from Keppra just didn't work for me. I kind of experienced just about all those. Added lamotrigine, finally got on that. I went through grad school basically just on Keppra. That was a mistake. I was afraid adding a new medication would make it a lot worse, the side effects worse. I decided just to kind of wait it out. And lamotrigine, you have to wean onto it slowly. So anyways, got on that. That didn't work. Still having 4 or 5 focal seizures a month. Same kind of aura, nausea, and deja vu. Occasionally loss of speech for the worst ones. And so got off Keppra, was on lamotrigine, and then eventually added trileptal again, which is what worked when I was a kid, and that didn't work either. So been up here in Minnesota at the Mayo Clinic, getting ready to go to my surgery in 2 days. Getting the laser ablation surgery. I am feeling a lot of things, so scared, excited. I've read a lot of stories on Reddit and stuff of seeing how people are doing, and a lot of people are thankful post-procedure. I'm nervous about it. I'm nervous mostly about emotional side effects, things of depression, things of that sort. Partial loss of vision, that's scary, but it's not as big of a deal to me. Speech, another scary thing, but something I think it might be a little bit easier to correct. So again, I want to take this video, try to help encourage people in the future. Also wanted to track how I would be before and after, and I really, like I said, I really hope that this helps others. This is the right move for me. I've gone to several different doctors. I'm lucky that this is a surgery I qualify for. I'm lucky that I'm young enough to where I've made this decision, hopefully. My wife's very nervous. I'm mostly worried about her and my family, and but I think good things are coming, and I'm pretty optimistic. Definitely scary, but got good people on my team. I have a good medical team, good team at home. So I in the future, hoping to make more videos just so people can kind of see any differences, things like speech, things like you might be able to tell attention's already kind of poor, memory's already pretty poor. So yeah, just want to track that, and I'll try to track it again in the future, post-surgery, as soon as I can, as soon as I'm feeling up to it, make another video. I think I covered pretty much all my history, but maybe I'll add some stuff in the future. If you have any questions, let me know. All right, hope this helps.